most people do not have a problem of fat loss. The problem is with the strategy, the problem is with the education, the problem is with the understanding. You work out 5 to 6 times a week, you're sweating buckets in the gym, you are following a very strict regime of diet, but not getting the fat loss results that you have been aiming for.
There are a lot of trainers, but then there is Praveen Nair. Praveen को मिलो सब कुछ अजीब हो जाएगा। वाह, मुझे लगता है कि मेरा पहला ट्रेनर जो है ये प्रवीण है।
He being so busy with all the top notches in every career, everyone goes to Praveen.
You work out 5 to 6 times a week, you're sweating buckets in the gym, you are following a very strict regime of diet, but not getting the fat loss results that you have been aiming for. It's not about spending a lot of hours in the gym. It's not about starvation. It's about a smart strategy of programming of your workout along with a mindful eating. In this video, we're going to dig deep into the principles, how to get the best results in the shortest span of time, and how to correct your small mistakes into the big wins. Well, I'm Praveen Nair. I'm a fitness trainer and an entrepreneur from Mumbai. I've trained a number of celebrities and transformed a lot of lives around the world. So I thought I'd bring this principle to you guys to make your life more easy and make your dream come true. Let's be real. Most people do not have a problem of fat loss. The problem is with the strategy, the problem is with the education, the problem is with the understanding. Which means that if a person goes to the gym and spend about say 45 minutes to 50 minutes and gets wonderful results, but on the other hand, we have some people who spends probably a couple of hours in the gym but still not getting results, right? Which means that you're probably spending more time in the gym than compared to the person one. And I've seen most of the times that people spend a lot of time on the treadmill or doing a combination of probably whatever machine that they get to see. Like they see that the treadmills are busy in the gym, they go and do weight training, and whenever the treadmill gets free, they start doing the treadmill. And this actually spend about 2 to 3 hours. And I do get to see them eating sandwiches below the gym or probably vada pav below the gym. So what we need to understand is about no matter what, how much of calories that you burned in the gym, you actually has got more calories than that by having sandwich or by having vada pav. Just give you an example of it. So what you need to understand that what kind of lifestyle that you have, can you really invest a lot of time in the gym working out and you're really disciplined about your goal, then it comes down to be that you probably stick around a split routine, which means that you do keep your cardio in the morning, which is empty stomach, to get the best results. Because of course, you know that in the morning, your glycogen levels are at a lower stage and your body will tap into the fats much more faster than usual. Like usual from the point of view of that, if you're working out after having a meal, and empty stomach makes a huge difference when it comes to really tapping the fats. On the other hand, you're a person, you have a busy lifestyle, you travel far for work, which means that you're probably spending a lot of time on the road for traveling, which means that you would not get a split routine time, but certainly you can get a single workout routine, right? You can take out about 45 minutes to 1 hour in a day for workout. In that scenario, you would want to choose to do a HIIT workout routine, or probably a routine which is more with weights and brings in a combination of cardio work, like the YouTube videos that we have, like a sweat bootcamp routine or sweat Pilates, sweat total programs. So these programs get you that 50 minutes of the workout, which focus on hypertrophy and other aspects of fitness at the same time. It will let you burn the fat as well. The reason being is about EPOC, that's about exercise post oxygen consumption. But if you're doing only a steady cardio, or even at the scenario of not a well-programmed exercise routine, you may not be getting into the epoch, or probably you will be just burning calories in the gym when you're working out. So the understanding that you need to build from here is about, it's not about just spending a lot of time on the treadmill. I get to see a lot of people spending I get to see them Monday to Saturday, or probably Monday to Sunday, walking the treadmill, assuming that I'm going to become thin or probably lean. So the take home should be that it's not about just spending time on the treadmill or on any cardio machine. It's about actually tapping into that fat burning, smart routines, considering the time zone that you have, and tapping into the epoch, the exercise post oxygen consumption, which means that your body will be in a stage of burning fat once you're done with the workout for the next 24 to 48 hours. And that's exactly what we want to get the best results. Point number 2, when you're not eating enough, if in case you've been doing any dietitian, the traditional dietitian, they would say that you want to have meals over a period of time, which means that small meals, but have about 5 or 6 meals. But of course, it has its own sad story. The reason being is that when you constantly keep eating, then that will spike your insulin. And you must have heard about intermittent fasting, right? So if you don't spike insulin much, your body's ability to use the fats or the stored fat to convert into the energy becomes even more better. What you need to understand here is about you don't want to drop too much of a calorie. You want to be in a stage that you are losing fat but not losing muscles. Now, a stage where you're losing muscles is called as catabolic stage. Now, what do I mean by that is that when your body is not getting enough energy or probably enough source of energy, which is ideally, it turned out to be glycogen, which is carbohydrates, if not fats. The body will start tapping into the muscles to break down into the form of energy. That's the time that you start losing the muscle volume. And you must have seen that a lot of people lose fat or they lose weight, but they become weak. They can't perform most of the activities. Their skin quality goes off. Those are the scenarios when you start following a very strict regime of diet from nowhere. Like you are having a good lifestyle, you're eating a lot of food, and suddenly one day you think that, okay, now I want to lose fats, from today. And then that scenario, you start suddenly dropping down the calories, you have started restricting a lot of things around the eating pattern. That brings your overall body into a shocking scenario. At the same time, the overall hormones goes for a kind of a complete haywire situation. Now, you want to understand whenever you're stepping into a fat loss or a weight loss journey, it's not about you losing just the fat, but you're changing you as a person. You're completely becoming a new person. You have gained weight or you've gained fat. The reason behind is about your lifestyle over a period of months and years. And now what you need to do is about having a proper plan where you look forward to see yourself in the coming a couple of months. And in order to do that, what are the few changes that you would do it? So I've seen even a lot of people doing this one. On the other hand of the story is that they think that they're eating correct. Your body doesn't understand much about eating correct and eating wrong. The body understands about calorie in, calorie out. That should be the first thumb rule of yours when it comes to your fat loss or your weight loss journey. The reason being is that if in case, assume that you're eating everything very clean, you know that you're probably eating, boiled food to be more precise. But if the calorie intake is higher, the body will understand, you know what, I'm getting a lot of surplus amount of calories. Let me start storing it. The body exactly works like your normal day-to-day life. So you start saving money, assuming that there may be difficulties in the future and I want to use the saved money to live that time, right? Like we had Corona, we had a lot of difficulties. And that time we were literally using our savings to survive, to get the food for us. Similar manner, body understands, okay, now I'm getting surplus amount of calories in my body. Let me start storing this in the form of fats. Could be anywhere, it could be on a cheek, could be on a belly, anywhere. I can utilize these fats when I do not get amount of energy, of source of energy in the future. And if in case that scenario comes in, for example, say you went to a jungle and you got lost, that time the body will start tapping into this fat. That's the reason humans don't die for a couple of days to a couple of months, because the body's constantly know how to generate the energy. So that's what the beauty is about. So it's not about you considering a certain food and eating a lot of it. If in case you're eating very clean, still you need to know that how much calories are you getting from that meal? For example, say I'm a firm follower of keto and I do eat a couple of eggs, as in like when I start my day, or else I have smoothie. And I do put avocado. Avocado is a great source of fats, but at the same time, it does carry a good amount of calories, which means that, as you know that now, if in case you've been watching these videos, you know that now 1 gram of fat and carbs has about 4 calories and 1 gram of fat. You've been watching this video from a couple of weeks, and if you've seen all these videos, you must be aware or you must be educated up to a level that 1 gram of protein and carbs has about 4 calories, wherein 1 gram of fat has about 9 calories, which means that if in case I'm going to have about 2 to 3 meals in the whole day, I love following intermittent fasting. If I'm finding my intermittent fasting window and I'm having about 3 meals in the day, and I'm having keto-based meal, which is dominantly heavy on fats, I would hit my calorie intake in about 3 meals. So I do need to know that how much calories do I get from these meals. And I'm a man, so and I'm physically heavily active. I work out, or physically I'm shooting things for about nothing less than about 4 to 5 hours a day. So I'm physically very active. So in this scenario, you need to understand that if in case you're following a diet, how much, though you're eating a very clean meal plan, you need to still understand that how much calorie does that provide. So you need to be calorie deficit, but eat quality full food. Of course, you're getting a strict diet plan. You may miss out some of the very important minerals and vitamins. So you need to back it up with vitamins. So keep this in mind. So we move on to the next point. Point number 3, you're not moving outside the gym. See, why do you exercise? The most important thing is not about just the fat loss. The most important aspect of your exercise should be to make you functionally fit, which means that any activity that you do, day-to-day activity, should be so smooth for you to do it. And that would not happen only in the gym. Certainly you can mimic some exercise, and that's what it's called as functional training. Now, your exercise is to burn calories, one aspect of it, but dominantly your exercise should be as such that it makes you fit to do a lot of other activities. So I would highly recommend, not only I recommend, but I do practice it by myself. I love to go and play some matches with Kian whenever we get time. Most of the weekends, I just drop down, to the building. I play around with Kian and Kiara, run around with them. That's what makes you actually fit, and you should be able to do that. You just need to run sometime. You need to climb some stairs. Your body should be equipped to do those things. What could happen is that when you are burning a couple of calories in the gym, you're just burning a couple of calories. Of course, a great workout in the gym could let you burn about 200 to 300 calories. If in case you're doing even a leg workout also. But on the other hand, we have programs like sweat boot camps or even HIIT programs or sweat Pilates. They're well programmed, keeping in mind that you burn the maximum calories and you get hypertrophy and you get those epochs down. Now in those scenarios, you burn up to about 500 calories. Now on the other hand, it's still not surplus. It's not, you're in that zone of being calorie deficit. So you want to make it a habit that you are physically active. So you want to, instead of taking a lift, climb some stairs. Instead of sitting at home and watching TV and moving around your fingers on the Instagram, walk around in your building, or probably in a garden, walk around and burn some calories. That will make you feel good. And then trust me, I feel the best. So that actually makes it feel really good. So you want to feel good. You want to take these steps. So at the bottom level, you want to make it a point that your goal is very serious for you. You want to meet about 15,000 steps in a day. And that's not easy, but of course you can easily meet about 10,000 steps. So the goal is to be physically more active, walk around, enjoy the life. In science terms, we call it as NEAT, non-exercise. In science terms, we call it as NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which means that you actually burn your 70% of your calories by doing the other activities, like by walking around, by playing, by doing the normal day-to-day activities. So do really engage yourself in doing all those things, and at the same time do walk somewhere about 10 to 15,000 steps every single day, and you should enjoy it. So probably you want to watch some podcasts, you want to watch some YouTube videos or listen to podcasts. You're educating yourself about the topic that you're really inclined about it, but of course you're completing those steps. So do this and you see wonderful results coming on your way. Point number 4, your sleep and stress are a mess, which means that if in case you're stressed, you're not sleeping properly, which means that if you don't sleep properly, you'll be certainly stressed because now you haven't slept properly, all right? And now that's going to increase your cortisol levels, and cortisol level has a direct correlation with your free testosterone. Your testosterone has to do a lot with the way you feel, the way you look, and the way you lift or the way you perform, and the way you perform in the gym or in a day-to-day life. So you do want to make it a point that you do sleep at least 7 to 8 hours, and that to be in an appropriate time. It's not about you sleeping about 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the night, which means early in the morning, and you're waking up next day at about 12 o'clock. No, your body is designed in such a manner. Like for example, you must have heard that Akshay Kumar always keep talking about sleeping at a certain time and waking up at a certain time. And look at him now, he still has the same agility. He still can kick that, the roundhouse kick or probably that 360 kick. He can do it because he's still fit. And that sets you in a routine of regime, which is very disciplined, which means that I have a lot of friends who are actually very close friends of Akshay Kumar, and they know his lifestyle very well. So you never see him partying, and if in case he's outside for a shoot, he will make it a point that he's wrapping it up and he's at home before even 7:38. The reason being is that he can get to sleep early. Then he works out, and that exactly the human body is built for. Like if you go to any other countries, like for For example, we were in China for a couple of weeks, and we could see that all the shops get shut by about 5:30 sharp, and when you walk on the roads by about 6:37 or 7:30 max, you won't see many people walking around the roads. And they're actually in a complete zone of moving around by about somewhere about 7:38. The exact opposite happens in India. We sleep at about say 12, 1, 2. We start at about say we wake up at about say 9 or 10, and then of course the youngsters, actors early in the morning, 3:34. And if in case you've seen great fitness influencers like Nick Bear, their actually time to wake up is at about 4:30. They hit the gym, hit the workout by about say somewhere about 5 o'clock. They're done by about 6:30. Then actually moving to their office and the work premises by 6:37, and they're actually moving very physically fit, mentally fit at about 8 o'clock. So the most important thing is about fixing your lifestyle from the point of time zones, and this is exactly what I practiced in the last couple of years, from the point of view that when I started setting up Sweat, we were opening Sweat Pilates outlets, we were working on programmings, we were setting the team up, and I thought like, let me work for 14 hours, 16 hours a day, and let me sleep for less time and maximize my outcome. But in return, what I used to do that, I used to sleep at about say 10, 11 or 12 in the night, and then the whole day, I used to be tired. I used to take small naps. I'm driving down, I probably park my car somewhere, by the lane. I take a little nap for 10 minutes, I put an alarm for 10 minutes, I wake up, oh my God, I need to wake up, I need to go to the next task. I did that for a couple of months, but then I'm like, okay, let me just analyze things. What am I achieving by doing this? Because one thing, I'm tired, I'm not getting my best out of myself because my mind is not working when I'm tired, right? And then at the same time, physically, I'm not giving my best because I'm taking small naps, and that puts the body into a kind of a slow zone. On the other hand, when I hit the workout, I knew that I'm not able to lift much or I'm not able to give my best. Like in boot camps, we have say 100 burpees workout. And those days I realized that I am not able to complete those 100 burpees under a certain time. And then I sat back one day, I'm like, let me analyze, what am I exactly doing? Am I getting something out of this? I wrote down those things in a paper and actually so that I'm losing out on my energy. I'm like, no, I'm gonna change everything. I'm gonna be at home by about say 6:37, finishing my workout, finishing my work, everything. I'm gonna hit the bed about by 8:39 and wake up by about 3:34. Approach the day. Let me try and see what's gonna happen. And trust me, that changed my life. That changed my approach towards the perception of looking at things. So I'm very precise about doing things. So the first and the most important thing for you guys is about setting up a precise time when you're waking up and sleeping. And when you wake up early, you must be knowing that the best sunlight, or probably, and you certainly know that you get vitamin D3 through the sunlight, and you know that you get the vitamin D3 through the sunlight. So one of my friends was really ill. He was diagnosed with cancer. He was really weak, and okay, now he comes back home after all these medications, and so I went to meet him, and the one thing that he told me about, Praveen, doctor suggested me to, no matter what, every day from 7:30 to at least till about 8:30, sit somewhere where I can get the sunlight, and that's going to help me recover. And actually I saw him after a couple of weeks, and he was doing it very truly to the core. He was meeting his time on the sunlight, doing its meals very properly. Of course, there are other aspects that help him to recover to a very fast pace. That's what I'm trying to make you understand. It's about you waking up in the morning, and actually my mother, actually Mehek's mother, Kaul Bandari ji, she wakes up early in the morning, 3:30. So, and she prays because she says that, that's the actual time. If in case you have kind of a request to the God, at that time, the God will listen to you. And she does that. I've seen it most of the time when I wake up at about 3:34. She's actually up before us, sitting down and praying, or probably, lighting the diya and actually praying over this. That actually brings in a lot of kind of understanding exactly how the culture runs, how the culture works. So let's not change things around. If you're really concerned about your health, first thing is about you fixing up those things and really taking care of your health. So the take home is going to be that if you're sleeping properly, if you're taking care of your health properly, you will see that the cortisol levels, which are ideally the stress hormones, drops down, everything goes up. So gymming is a secondary thing. You want to first and the most important thing, you want to fix the basics, your correct eating pattern, correct sleeping pattern, and keeping yourself happy. See, whatever that you do at the end of the day is we only see one thing: how much happy are we at the end of the day? And I count my most valuable part of my day is that when I'm at home at about 7:38, when Kian comes back after his practice, and Kiara comes back after her school and other dance practices. We spend about a couple of minutes sitting down doing nothing. And that time, how much I can really gel with them, I can be available with them to bring in a very valuable chat or just talk to them about how was the day, what did you do today, how was your practice, Kian, how was your dance practice today, Kiara. Talking to them, those things, just the most precious thing of the day. And that's what you can always remember about your kids or your family. Next section, how to fix it. Simple, effective fat loss protocols. The most important thing is your lifestyle, which means that you're going to certainly sleep on time, wake up on time, have a regime, which means that if in case you made a program of about working out 4 times, you're going to fix the time that the body knows that, okay, this time I should expect to work out, implementing intermittent fasting or any eating pattern. If in case you're low carb or keto, stick around the principle. People do get results because they are consistent. Anybody, let's take about Ronaldo, you take about anybody, they have been consistent over years, get amazing results. So stick around for months, you'll be completely done with your fat loss goals and you will drop into a maintenance phase, which will be just following a good lifestyle. Now let's talk about training, the workout that you do. It's not about spending long hours in the gym, it's about effectively working out. Your body understands stress, which means that you're doing 100 reps or 20 reps won't make a difference. But if in case you're in the gym or you're lifting a certain amount of weight, you're looking for to achieve is the muscle fatigue, onset muscle fatigue, which means that you do say, instead of doing 20 reps, assume that you're taking 10 kg to perform 20 repetitions, but rather you take 12 kg and perform 12 reps. You get the same amount of muscle fatigue and your body will respond for it. So making an effective routine, which means that having flexibility as one of the dominant aspects. The reason being, if you're flexible, your body can move around your muscles, belly. Actually, this is belly, these are tendons around the joints, right? So if you have a tight belly, with the time, it'll make tight tendons, which means that your flexibility will be in a compromise. The joint and the movement of the joints will get compromised. So you want to make it a point that your workout starts with a nice mobility-based routine, and then into static, lengthening the muscles. Then into the actual belly of the workout where you create intensity, which means that where we spoke about if in case you're lifting weights or if in case you're doing an HIIT, challenging weight selection is something which is important. Rather than walking on the treadmill for hours and hours, but under a certain time span, because now you know that when you hit those time span, for example, say you did a 5 kilometer under about 30 minutes, and next week you're able to do a 5 kilometer under about say 28 minutes, you have improved your muscle endurance, your cardiac system has got stronger. So you're getting better, and that's inspired to do even better, show up every day. So make your routine in such a way that that routine itself inspires to show up every day. In simple, train to build muscles because your muscles will burn more fats or more calories. So always try to build more muscle. And in simple, your fat loss journey will become very much easier when you retain more muscles. Now it's about your eating patterns. Prioritize protein and your eating pattern. Nothing wrong in following a specific meal plan. If in case you're following keto, stick around it. If you're following low carb, stick around it. But to know what exactly those protocols or systems will bring it on the table. All right? So there's nothing wrong in eating carbohydrates. So based on your goal, if you're looking for to lose fat, do the weight loss, then it has to be calorie deficit. If you're someone who is trying to gain muscle volume or muscle gain as in the whole, then you need to be calorie surplus. Then once you have figured this out, then it becomes the quality of food which will define the quality of the muscles later part of the day. So in simple, track your meals, know your calories, and be smart when it comes to eating pattern. Because your workouts makes you fit, your eating pattern makes you look the way you look. Daily non-negotiables. The most important thing about your workouts, smart workout routines, drinking at least about 3 to 4 liters, minimum about 3 to 4 liters of water every day. Having an intermittent fasting plan into the routine, which means that you won't randomly eat all over the place. You'll have specific time for specific meals, and then you know that, okay, now I'm done with my meals. is time that I follow intermittent fasting. Ideally, a good time to do the same would be over the night. That I had my meal at about say 8 in the evening. Next meal would be 8 in the morning. In a great scenario, finishing the workout in the empty stomach always is a great option. Then you know that now I finished my workout from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. My first meal would be at 8 o'clock, which means that last meal at 8 o'clock, next meal at 8 o'clock, which is a good window of 12 hours. And the most important thing, even at work, 7 to 8 hours of sleep is a must. And trust me on this, I do practice this. It's going to make a drastic change in the way you behave, the way you behave in the gym, the way you behave with the overall energy outcome that you have in your complete day. Last but not the least, track your progress. This gets you a lot of understanding about why have you done that program? Has that program and eating pattern has got your results? If not, it's time to change it. But of course, taking pictures and tracking things down in an Excel sheet or a spreadsheet will make a huge difference. And trust me, I have given you the example multiple times when you started tracking Kian's performance from the point of view of how long does it take to do a 2-kilometer run. And when I showed Kian, you know what, you're taking about 12 minutes plus to do a 2-kilometer run. We want to bring that down to under 11. And then he started putting in more effort till he met under 11. And now we're aiming for something different. We are aiming for under 10 yo-yo test. So Kian has been a cricket player from a couple of years, and so there's a new coach comes into the school cricket scenario, cricket team, and he takes over the new team. The new coach comes in, and the first thing that he made all the team members of the school do is he made them do a yo-yo test. And yo-yo test is something that you analyze cricketers' intensity on the heart, how much they can actually push, and the same time muscle endurance. And the kids were like quite poor because in the past couple of years when the other coach was there, they never did this yo-yo test, and for them it was a new time. They all quite scored poor, but now they know what exactly meant by a yo-yo test and how much they have to score. Now the coach asked them to do the yo-yo test the next month, and he told them, okay, we're going to do the yo-yo test after about 3 to 4 weeks, which is ideally a month. This time all the kids performed much better. So what I'm trying to make it a point that when you know it, you want to do it even better. Reality check. Fat loss is not just the goal, it's the lifestyle. Stop jumping around programs, stop changing trainers. Stick around, have faith, stick around the routine and see what kind of results are you getting. If you're getting results day by day, week by week, which means you're in the right path. If in case you haven't got results, but you've tracked your progress, everyday progress, you can always go back and analyze what has happened. Let me tweak this up. Let me see what's going to happen the next week. So you have a scope to change, and change only happens when you change the program. Get accountability. When you have accountability, you certainly show up, you become more consistent. And that happens when you're in a group, when you're in a community, and when you have people like you, like-minded people always shows the best results. So get into a group of people where you are accountable. Everybody talks about eating correct, everybody's eating correct, which means that it's been always said that you will end up doing the same thing. You will think that it's just a one meal, I just want to accompany them, so let me just have that. But rather, if you can find a group, everybody eats freaking salad every meal, you're in the right group. You will start eating salad. And that's exactly what I get to see. So whatever me and Mehek does it, our kids simply follow the same thing. So when Kiara was about say 2 or 3 years, so we do get this salmon, and we do eat this salmon in front of her at that, being that kid also. So Kiara end up adapting the same eating pattern like us. I have pictures of Kiara wherein she eats salmon and asparagus being such a small kid. So it's about you adapt what you see. In simple, your job is not to be perfect, but to be consistent. There are days that when you go to the gym, we don't show up to the 100%, but we show up. We don't get to lift the same weight, we don't get to do the same intensity, but we show up. We may lift lightweight, we're not at the best of the repetitions, but we show up. That is what's going to bring in the results. So just be consistent, show up, and enjoy the process of being fit, getting lean, and every time you want to make it a point that you smile, you enjoy each and every step of it. And because I see people doing it, people changing themselves, and trust me, the confidence, the faith that they build when they transform is completely different. It's your turn, do it for yourself. All right, everybody, I'm sure that we bring in a lot of valuable content for you guys. So please hit and subscribe, because that's going to really help us to build this channel up and reach out to new people, because we genuinely bring in value. The reason being is that we have recipes, we have informative video which brings in a lot of clarity about the thought process, about the overall process of your journey. At the same time, exercise videos which is longer as 15 minutes to 30 minutes, and that's the only thing that you need to make yourself fit. And your comment will literally make the algorithm understand that the engagement of the video is way much higher. Let me show it to more people. So please comment about whatever that you feel. If you just share a love, or actually these videos are helpful, share your comment. It's actually helpful, and that will let us reach out to the like-minded people in the community and help them to get even more fitter. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Much love.